Right now, on the stone path outside my front door, here in Okinawa, there is a dark, wet stain spreading across the ground. I put it there myself, not 2 minutes ago, with a wooden ladle and a bucket of water from my rain barrel. To your eyes, it would look like an old man spilling water on his doorstep. But as that water dries in the afternoon heat, something invisible is happening. It is pulling warmth out of the air around my door, and the small breeze crossing that damp stone is arriving into my house, measurably cooler than the air of the street. This little ritual has a name. We have done it in Japan for over 400 years, and it is one of 25 tricks I am going to hand you today. 25 ways my people have kept their homes bearable through summers far hotter and heavier than most of you have ever felt, without touching an air conditioner. Some cost nothing at all. None costs more than a few dollars, and every single one still works today, exactly as it worked 4 centuries ago. My name is Kenji Takara. I am 81 years old, and I have lived my whole life on the island of Okinawa in the far south of Japan, a subtropical island where the summer is not a season but a siege. The heat here is wet, heavy, and long, and for most of my life, and for all the centuries of my ancestors' lives, there was no machine to hide from it. And yet my family lived, slept, cooked, and worked in comfort, because they had built up, generation after generation, a whole quiet arsenal of methods for beating the heat with nothing but water, shade, air, and understanding. My grandmother commanded that arsenal like a general. Her house, in the fiercest August, was the coolest place in the village, and her secret was not one big thing. It was 25 small ones, deployed every day in a rhythm as natural to her as breathing. But before I open the arsenal, let me tell you the part that should make you a little angry. There is an entire industry built on your sweat. The air conditioning makers, the power companies that feed the machines, the stores with their aisles of plastic fans and gadget coolers, all of them profit from a single belief they have planted deep in your mind. That comfort in summer is a thing you buy month after month, kilowatt after kilowatt, and that without the machine, you are helpless. So they will sell you a bigger unit and a second unit for the bedroom and the electricity to run them both, $80, $100, $150 a month, all summer long, every summer, for the rest of your life. What they will never do is teach you the 25 free things your own great-grandparents knew, because a family that can keep its home cool with a bucket of water, a reed screen, and an open window at the right hour is a family that has stopped paying the summer tax. There is no invoice for shade. There is no monthly bill for a breeze, and so that knowledge was allowed to die. Not because it stopped working, but because it never made anyone a dollar. Now, here is where almost everyone goes wrong. And if you do not understand this one thing, you will try 2 or 3 tricks, feel little difference, and give up. Most people fight the heat after it is already inside the house. They wait until the rooms are hot. Then they point fans at themselves and suffer. This is backward. The old Japanese way rests on one principle, and every one of the 25 tricks serves it. Keep the heat out, invite the cool in, and never confuse the 2 hours. A house is like a fortress in a siege. Once the enemy is inside the walls, the battle is nearly lost. You will spend all day fighting heat that you could have simply refused at the gate in the morning. So the 25 tricks divide into a daily rhythm: what you do at dawn, what you do at midday, what you do at dusk. Follow the rhythm, and the tricks multiply each other. Ignore the rhythm, and even good tricks half fail. That is the whole secret before the secrets. So let us begin at the gates, with the sun itself, your true enemy, and the first and greatest family of tricks, shade, placed outside the glass, where it belongs. Trick 1. Shade the outside of your windows, not the inside. This is the single most important thing I will say today, so hear it well. Sunlight pouring through glass heats your rooms like a greenhouse, and a curtain drawn inside the window catches that heat after it has already entered. The curtain itself becomes a hot radiator hanging in your room. The old Japanese answer is the sudare, the woven reed or bamboo blind hung outside the window, so the sun is stopped before it ever touches the glass. The heat stays in the street, where it belongs. You can buy a bamboo or reed blind for $10 or $15. Hang it from 2 simple hooks under the eave, and the difference on a west-facing window on an August afternoon is not small. It is the difference between a room you avoid and a room you live in. Shade outside beats shade inside, every time, in every house on earth. Trick 2. Know your enemy's schedule. The east windows take the sun in the morning. The south takes it through midday. But the true villain of summer is the west window in the afternoon, when the sun hangs low and pours straight in, sideways, for hours, into a house that is already hot. Shade your west windows first, hardest, and longest. If you can only afford 1 reed blind, it goes on the west. And that brings us to the third trick, the one that costs absolutely nothing, that most people do exactly backward, and that decides whether your whole house starts the day cool or spends the day losing. Trick 3. The dawn flush. The coolest hour of the entire day is just before and after sunrise. The old households of Japan rose with it, and the first act of the morning was to throw the house wide open, windows, doors, everything, and let the cool night air pour through and wash the warmth of yesterday out of the walls and floors. Then, and this is the part most people do backward, by mid-morning, before the outside air grows warmer than the inside air, you shut it all again. Windows closed, blinds down, the cool sealed inside like water in a jar. The common mistake is leaving windows open all day for fresh air, which simply invites the afternoon furnace indoors. Open at dawn, seal by mid-morning. Free and worth more than any gadget in the store. Trick 4. The cross-breeze path. When you do open the house, open it in pairs. A window low on the shaded, cool side, and another high on the opposite side. Air will not flow into a box with 1 hole. Give it a doorway in and a doorway out, and it becomes a river through your home. The old Japanese house, with its sliding panels on every side, was built entirely around this truth. The whole building could be opened into 1 great breezeway in minutes. Trick 5. Uchimizu, the water ritual at the door. This is the wet stone I showed you at the beginning, and it deserves its full explanation, for it is 400 years old and it is real physics. You scatter water, always used water or rainwater, never wasted drinking water, on the ground outside your door, on the patio, the path, the balcony, in the early morning, and again at dusk. As that water evaporates, it draws heat out of the ground and the air above it, and the breeze that crosses the damp ground enters your home, cooler than the street. In the old merchant streets of Japan, every shopkeeper ladled water before his door, morning and evening. It was courtesy, ritual, and air conditioning all at once. Do it where your breeze enters. Cost nothing. Trick 6. The damp cloth on the sill. The same principle, brought to the window. A wet towel hung over the sill, or on a rack, before an open shaded window, cools the air that passes over it into the room. Wring it, hang it, forget it. My grandmother kept a row of them going on the shaded side of the house on the worst days. Trick 7. The bowl of water before the fan. If you own a simple electric fan, and I permit the fan, for it sips power where the air conditioner gulps it, set a wide bowl of cool water or a bowl of ice on the fiercest days, directly in the path of its breeze. The moving air drinks the coolness off the water and carries it to you. It is the poor man's air conditioner, and on a dry day it is astonishing. Trick 8. Point the fan out, not in. In the evening, when the outside has finally cooled, most people point the fan at their face. Do this instead. Set the fan in a window on the hot side of the house, facing outward, and open a window on the cool, shaded side. The fan pushes the day's trapped hot air out, and the cool evening air is pulled in behind it through the whole house. You are not stirring hot soup. You are changing the soup entirely. Trick 9. Warm the person, cool the person, not the building. The deepest Japanese habit of all, comfort is applied to the body, not the architecture. A cool, wet cloth on the back of the neck while you work. Wrists run under cold water for a minute. The blood cools there, close to the skin, and carries the coolness through you. A small towel, damp and rolled, kept in the refrigerator, ready. These cost nothing and work in any house on earth. Trick 10. The evening rinse. The Japanese bath in summer runs tepid, not hot, and there is the simple habit of rinsing feet, hands, and face with cool water before sitting down to the evening meal. A body that starts the evening cool stays cool into the night. Trick 11. Dress like the climate is real. Loose cotton and linen, light colors, air moving against the skin. The old work clothes of the Japanese farmer, loose, woven, breathing, were engineering, not fashion. Tight synthetic cloth in August is a personal decision to suffer. Trick 12. Eat with the season. My grandmother barely lit the stove in high summer, and this was strategy, not laziness. Every hour a stove or oven burns. It is a furnace running inside your sealed, shaded house, undoing the work of every other trick. Summer in Japan is the season of cold noodles, chilled tofu, cucumbers, pickles, cold barley tea, meals made in the cool morning and eaten cold at noon. Cook once at dawn for the whole day, or cook outside if you grill, and let the kitchen stay dead cold through the afternoon. Trick 13. Banish the hidden heaters. The oven is not alone. The clothes dryer is a furnace. The dishwasher's dry cycle is a furnace. Even the old incandescent bulbs are tiny heaters hanging from your ceiling. In summer, line dry the clothes. The sun is free and gentler on cloth. Open the dishwasher and let the dishes air dry. And if any old hot bulbs remain in your lamps, swap them for LEDs, which give the same light and almost none of the heat. Trick 14. The midday darkness. From late morning to late afternoon on the worst days, the old houses went dim and quiet. Blinds down, shutters angled, rooms shadowed. Light is heat. A dark room is a cool room. My grandmother's house at 2 in the afternoon in August was as dim as evening, and stepping into it from the white-hot street was like stepping into a cave. Do not fear a shadowed house at noon. That shadow is your comfort. Trick 15. Live low. Heat rises, so in summer, life sinks. Sleep on the lower floor if you have one. Sit low. The air at floor height is genuinely cooler than the air at standing height in the same room. The whole tradition of Japanese floor living, the low table, the floor cushion, the futon, kept bodies down in the coolest layer of air the house had. Trick 16. Open the ceiling hatch. If your house has an upper floor, an attic hatch, or a stairwell window, open the highest opening in the evening flush. The hottest air in the entire building is pooled up there, pressing down. Give it an exit, and the whole house exhales. Trick 17. The green curtain. Now we come to my favorite family of tricks. Shade you grow. The Japanese green curtain is a trellis, a net, or strings run up the outside of a sun-facing wall or window, planted at the base with fast summer climbers. Morning glory for beauty, or better yet Goya, our Okinawan bitter melon, which shades the wall and feeds the family. The leaves block the sun completely, and unlike a blind, a living wall of leaves is actually cooling the air as it breathes water. A packet of seeds and a few dollars of netting in spring buys you a wall of cool shade by July, and dinner besides. This is Motenai at its finest. One effort, two harvests. Trick 18. Shade the machine. If you do own an air conditioner for the desperate days, or a refrigerator against an outside wall, shade the outdoor unit and the wall behind the refrigerator from direct sun. A machine baking in sunlight labors far harder for the same result. Shade is kindness, even to machines. Trick 19. Plant for your grandchildren. The deepest shade of all, a deciduous tree on the south or west side of a house. In summer, its full leaves shade the roof and walls. In winter, its bare branches let the low sun through to warm you. It is the only air conditioner that grows larger and works better every year for a century. My grandfather planted trees whose shade he knew he would never sit in. That is how the old people thought, and it is why their houses were cool. Trick 20. The damp floor wipe. The old Japanese house was cleaned with a damp cloth run over the wooden floors, and in summer that thin film of water, evaporating, pulled heat out of the boards themselves. A cool floor underfoot changes how the whole room feels. Mop or wipe the floors in the morning with plain, cool water, and let them dry with the windows still open before you seal the house. Trick 21. Cotton where you sleep. Strip the bed to its lightest cotton or linen sheets, nothing synthetic. And in the old Japanese summer, the woven grass mat, cool, smooth, breathing, replaced the padded bedding entirely. A buckwheat hull pillow, the traditional Japanese pillow, stays cool where a foam pillow holds your heat against your head all night. Trick 22. Chill the pulse before bed. Cool water over wrists, ankles, and the back of the neck in the last minutes before lying down. The same trick from the day, applied at the hour it matters most, for the falling asleep is the hardest part of a hot night. Trick 23. The sealed jar of night air. The evening flush from Trick 8 has a closing move. Once the house has swallowed the night's coolest air, the hour before you sleep, or the cool of very early morning, close it in, windows shut, blinds down before the sun rises high. You are bottling the night, and a well-shaded house will hold that bottled coolness deep into the following afternoon. Trick 24. The sound of water and wind. I will be honest with you, as I always am. This trick cools the mind more than the thermometer. But the mind is half of summer. The furin, the small wind chime of glass or iron hung at the eave, rings only when the breeze moves, and generations of Japanese have sworn its sound alone makes the day feel cooler. The ear tells the skin that air is moving. A dish of water, the shade of leaves, the chime at the window. The old summer house was a whole theater of coolness, and the audience genuinely sweated less. Trick 25. Respect the siesta hour. The final trick is the oldest. Do not fight the peak. The farmers of Okinawa worked from first light, rested in deep shade through the furnace hours of early afternoon, and worked again into the evening. Heavy work, heavy cooking, heavy anything at 3 in the afternoon is a battle the wise simply decline. Arrange your day around the heat, as every hot country on earth did for 10,000 years, and the worst of summer simply passes over you while you sit low, in the shade, with cold tea. There they are, 25. And let me give you the 3 that most people overlook, even after hearing the list. The west window. Trick 2. Shade it first. It is the villain. The dawn seal. Trick 3. Opening late or closing late wastes the whole day's coolness. And the hidden heaters. Trick 13. A shaded, sealed house, with an oven and dryer running inside it, is a fortress with the enemy already at the table. Let me tell you one more time about my grandmother, for she is in every one of the 25. In the worst week of August, when the cicadas screamed and the street burned white, her routine never wavered. The house thrown open in the gray of dawn, the floors wiped cool and damp, the sudare dropped, and the house sealed and dimmed by mid-morning, the water ladled on the stones at the door, the cold barley tea in the shade, the Goya vines thick and green over the west wall, the fan turned outward at dusk, and the wind chime speaking at the eve. Neighbors would step into her dim, quiet house out of the blinding afternoon and sigh out loud. And more than one asked her, in later years, what machine she had hidden away. She had no machine. She had a rhythm, 400 years old, performed with a ladle and a reed blind, and 2 minutes of attention at the right hours. The heat is not strong, she told me once, fanning herself on the shaded step. It is only patient, so we must be more patient than the heat. And that is the larger truth beneath all 25 tricks. You have been taught that summer comfort is a product, a machine, a bill, a monthly surrender. It is not. For all of human history until living memory, it was a skill, a set of small, free daily acts that any household could perform, that cost nothing, that worked with the sun and the water and the wind, instead of paying to fight them. To recover that skill is to take back a piece of your independence, from the machine, from the bill, from the helplessness they sell. When the power fails in a heat wave, and it fails more each year, just when everyone's machines gulp at once, the family that knows these 25 tricks is not a victim in a hot box. They are simply a household doing what households did for centuries, living wisely under the sun. That is Marinai. Waste nothing. Not the cool of dawn, not the shade of a vine, not the water from the rain barrel, and not $1 surrendered to the summer that a ladle and a reed blind could have saved. So tell me, in the comments below, where in this world do you live, and how cruel is your summer there? Tell me your place, and which of the 25 you will try first. The dawn flush, the outside blind, the water at the door. I read every message that comes to me, and I would dearly love to know who among you cools their home this week the old way, without touching the machine at all. And the next time we sit together, I will take you to the opposite end of the year and show you the low table with the quilt that Japanese families have gathered around for 600 winters. The one small source of warmth that heats the people and not the house, and why one warm table in one room beat the cost of heating an entire home all season long. Until then, waste nothing, be more patient than the heat, and remember always that the people who lived closest to the earth understood things that we, with all our roaring machines and all our monthly bills, are only now beginning to remember once again.